So I've experienced Gen 1 Rathalos firsthand, and it is the worst fight I have. Like, this game, I keep putting out videos, I keep saying it's hard as like, they keep one-upping themselves. The first Monster Hunter game is absolute bullshit. Welcome back, Classic Crew, to an annual tradition of jumping into Monster Hunter 1 and trying to progress a little bit. Now, this game continues to surprise me in just how awful it is. I really love, hate, love. I don't think there's a hate love. I think it's mostly a love hate this game, because I love seeing where a lot of the game's roots, like this franchise roots, are, but I hate the bullshit, but I love overcoming the bullshit. And so it's a love hate, and I'm just constantly surprised at how the game design decisions that went into this game. Like, I finally made it to Rathalos, which honestly, he came to my hunting list a little bit sooner than I expected. And I'm gonna get into, like, basically it's the flying. That's, like, if you want the short answer, why do I hate Rathalos? It's the flying. But I'm gonna get into that in a moment, because the last time I put a journal, I got ganked by Genprey and I got destroyed by Gendromes, mostly because I was trying to learn how to use the hammer, and I thought, oh, hammer spins, I can just knock all the raptors around me. Turns out, no, you need to actually know how to use the hammer properly to actually be able to do anything. So the first thing I did, going back into this, I'm like, give me back my sword and shield. That thing is leveled up. I know how to use it. Another thing that's interesting is I have the full Velociprey armor set, and I didn't realize that it gives me a skill, which is negate stun. And if I did mention that it gives me a skill, well, I've forgotten about it. So I was very pleasantly surprised to find a skill on the armor, because anything in this game helps. Like, I will take anything. The odds are stacked against me so high. Just please help me. So I went back into that quest, sought out my Gendrome, knew what the BS was, that there's raptors everywhere. Bing, bang, boom. I was so surprised at how quickly these things died. I felt like a champ. I'm like, I earned this sword and shield. I definitely deserve to have this quest go fast. So Gendrome was dead, and now it felt like, oh, I'm actually in charge of this game. I know what I'm doing. So I decided, let me do all my other 4-star quests that aren't egg quests, because I don't want to do that. So one was like, go kill 20 Genprey. I'm like, awesome, let's go do that. Bing, bang, boom, they all died. Oh, can we get some Io prey? Sure, more raptors. Then there was a capture of Yankutku, which I was like, wait a minute. I've never captured in this game. I don't have any traps on me, so I'm a little bit worried. I don't have any of the tranquilizer bombs. So my biggest concern was like, well, okay, I need to first farm out those parts to build my equipment. Chat was like, no, just go in the quest. They're gonna give it to you in the box. I was like, okay, I guess if it's the tutorial. They gave me one trap. So your your margin for error is literally 1. If you mess up your one and only trap, you're screwed. And so the Yankutku fight, I kind of know how it goes, so I know how to fight this thing. I was actually scared of killing it, because my sword and shield is the strongest I can get at this stage, and I'm doing some pretty good damage with it. So I was kind of like going after it and holding off, watching it, and then finally it was starting to walk away. I was like, oh, perfect. It's going to the cave. It's going to sleep. I'm going to trap it. This is going to be done. I walk into the cave, and there's Velociprey everywhere, and the Yankutku sleeping in the middle. I was like, first of all, how do you sleep around these annoying little beasts? And second, why game? Why must you spawn Velociprey? Why can't you just let me have my win? So of course I can't drop the trap in there, because one, I'm going to get interrupted. Or actually, I think I was afraid of the Velociprey getting trapped in it, which in hindsight is dumb, because I don't think small monsters trigger traps. So I'm trying to I'm trying to find an opening for the Yankutku. Finally, we go outside. I drop the trap. He's limping. I was like, here we go. And he walks right by the trap. I was like, oh my goodness. And he flies away. So I'm like, I've lost my opportunity to trap this fool. He goes back into the cave, goes to sleep amongst the Velociprey again. I was like, oh, what do? I got no trap. The trap outside, I can't pick it up. It's gonna disappear, and I'm gonna fail. So I go and I boop it. I wake it up, and I hope that by leaving it'll follow me. Through sheer luck, it actually went outside. It flew down right into the trap. And I finished the quest. It was a moment of luck and another moment of just like, oh my goodness, this game just keeps giving me heart attacks. So all of that done, I'm like, okay, well, Gypsaros is the only thing I can do next. Let's go into this. I already know kind of how BSC he is. But I was not prepared that this game is not about monster to monster fight. This is the thing that I think we became spoiled in World and Rise. The game is literally like, go fight a monster, and that's what they want you to do. In this game, it's go fight a monster while avoiding 5 to 6 other things attacking you. I was not ready for the Gypsyros to have 5 to 6 Balfango or whatever they are, the pigs, ramming you. So I don't know if we can like do this on the screen with the editor's help, but like imagine it's 1 dot is you, 1 dot is the Gypsyros, and like so you got to fight and like maneuver with that. But now add 5 to 6 vectors around that are charging at you that you have to simultaneously dodge. And for good luck, they throw in 2 cats that are going to jump at you with bombs and canes. It's ridiculous. Like, it's not even fighting monsters at this point. It's dodging wildlife. It's, oh my goodness. The one like saving grace is I didn't realize until halfway into the fight when he was like making his flash go off. At first I put my shield, and then a few other times I didn't have time to put the shield up, and I wasn't stunned. I was like, why aren't I stunned? And I was like, oh, the skill of my armor is actually coming in handy, and I am immune to his like flashes. And then on top of all that bullshittery, Gypsyros's moveset is primarily fly as far away from you as possible, run across the map to the other side where he's far away from you. So you're running there, he jumps, he flies to the other side. So you run there, and then when you finally get close, he's like landing, and then he's doing too much air pressure, which puts you in a locked animation. So this thing was absolute pain, but somehow I managed it. And by the somehow, it's probably because my sword and shield was awesome. So kill that, urgent unlocks, it's Rathalos. I was like, oh my god. So I didn't bother with the whole farming my inventory because I was like, let's just go in for a practice round. Let's see what I need to actually fight Rathalos. And so I go in there, and I was not ready for, well, first of all, his first move on me, he tramples me, and half my health just slowly disappears. And I'm like, okay. And then what was the biggest, like, frustrating part of this is not his moveset. His moveset has not changed much in the last 20 years. It's the fact that they make him fly so much, and not just like fly around your arena like other monsters or like what he does now in modern gen. He flies to other areas so that you can't. I paintballed him, and I was watching him fly just across 3 to 4 areas, not landing. So he's literally just wasting your time, and there's nothing you can do except wait to see where he's gonna land, because he traverses 4 areas at a time. He finally lands, then you gotta haul your heavy armored butt all the way there, and then by the time you get there, through no fault of your own, it just takes time, he decides to fly again, and he'll just hover. You will literally waste so much of your time chasing the Rathalos. You're not even hunting, you're playing hide and seek with the Rathalos, and even with a paintball, it's like it doesn't make it easier. And the other part, he lands in this area. He lands in pretty much 4 arenas, 2 of which are nice. They're like nice open space. There's nothing else in there like Balfangos. But then there's this one place, I think it's number 9, he lands. It's a place that has a lot of greenery, which blocks your camera if you're in the wrong place. And there's a bunch of Mealinxes, which are constantly stealing all your stuff. I went down a hallway, and I got mugged 3 times before I made it to the Rathalos.
Oh! I need that too! Oh, you son of a... Oh my god, I'm getting mugged like freaking no tomorrow!
And it's a very tight area, and Rathalos is as big as the hallway. So if you're fighting him in that hallway, you're gonna get mugged, and you're gonna get trampled on by Rathalos. It is the worst place to fight him. So I actually looked up some strategies of how to fight him. So what I've also experimented with are flash bombs, because flash bombs work in other gens. So I'm like, okay, let's bring some flash bombs with Rathalos. Super effective. The flash bomb stuns him for long periods of time, longer than I expect, longer than what it does now. So I've learned that that is the key to really helping you turn this fight over. So I'm thinking, you know, to prevent that like constant flying, I just got to stock up on a ton of flash bombs, keep him down on the ground, and just bam, 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 just like punish him. I've also learned through strategy guides that if you stun him when he's in rage, so when he's in rage and he's flying and you stun him, you do more damage, because more damage to enraged monsters. I've also learned if I want to really cheese this fight, I can get a lance and poke him in the head, and that locks him. That requires a whole like other level of commitment. I would have to learn how to use the lance, first of all, properly in this gen. I'd have to farm out a lance, which would take a lot of time. So that's probably a 10-hour commitment just to probably do that. So it's not my first solution. I'd rather farm traps and flash bombs, keep them pinned to the ground where I can actually wail on them with my existing weapon, and then hopefully that is going to take me to victory. Another aspect is so I'm less squishy. I looked at my armor. I'm still using the Velociprey. There's a steel armor set that is very expensive that I could grind out, which would double my defense. So my defense is 30 right now. I know, right? I could go up to almost 60, 50 to 60, depending if I get the whole armor set. And that would definitely, I mean, doubling my defense would let me take at least 4 if it scales linearly. It would let me take 4 of those big hits from Rathalos instead of 2. Actually, I can't even take 2 because the second one carts me, so I can only take 1. Whereas if I double my defense, I should be able to take 3. So I have some options, and that's the thing with these streams of Monster Hunter 1. It's always, I get introduced to bullshit, I go, what the It's very much like Dark Souls, where you enter a boss and you're like, how am I ever going to fight and win this thing? And then you reflect on it, you try things, and you're like, okay, here's the solution. It's almost like a puzzle. So Rathalos requires, I think, more of that item curation and use of items to actually overcome. I think the flash bombs are absolutely critical, because otherwise he's just going to fly and wear out the timer on you. So that's what I'm going to be doing next time. The next time I play this is either going to be in 6 months or 12 months. I don't play this game often, and it's for my own sanity, and I'd like it that way, and I don't want to play it more often. So I will see you on the next time. Let me know if you've played Gen 1 Rathalos and how you fared against it and what your strategy was or what your story was. Love to hear it and share our mutual pain here. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next journal, and until next time, keep it classy.